right, welcome to a new week, Monday, October 30th. I'm just going to do a morning review. It's the easiest thing just to do. You should be really done. You trade the morning, be done, and move on. There was tons of points really to be played. Once moves had sort of happened, you don't want to try to force force your hand and force the market to do what you want it to do. You start getting into like bad mindsets. So, so far everything sort of worked according to plan. From the weekly video that I made last week. Let's go into the review. So, what's our rules? The rules are, when you if you open above the bull pivot, the most likely odds is you're going to shoot up to the mid-range pivot. So that is what we did the first 15 minutes, and yeah, it actually was perfect. If you want to see the precision, let's look at a Renko chart. So this line right here was the open. So we opened here, and so within 2 minutes it dropped. And just like with anything, you don't want to be chasing. Like, this is like no man's zone, anything. So you miss it, you miss it. So you wait, and then because you're opening above the pivot, you want to be looking for longs. And so this didn't go right to the pivot. It was close, but once it came down, and then it just reversed and it never looked back. And within like 10 minutes, it made a 100-point move. Consolidated right here, and then finished its move, and then consolidated more, and then pop right over. Anytime you go over, what do? You aim for the next target, which would have been it was the fib pivot, but more importantly, this is what I was looking for. If you miss it, you miss it. This is the beginning of the morning, so let the 30 minutes sort of unravel, and don't get FOMO. Anytime you move up so fast, a lot of times you will go back down just as fast. So you just have to be really careful. This should have been planned before the market opened. I mean, here you can see that it's not like we were over here barely at the open. We came up pretty high, so the odds are we were going to be playing in the space in the morning. If we were coming down below this bull pivot and playing down here, then it could have been weak and then came all the way back down. So you'll see this a lot of times at the beginning of the week. They're pushing a lot of the shorts, people closing their positions because of the weekend. So you'll have this volatility at the very beginning of the week. But with that said, so remember, if you watch the video, what I was looking for was a push and resistance into this 14,450 area. See how this was support this was Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, and we weren't really getting up there, and so that was going to be resistance, I believe, for the week. And now, granted, we could bust over it, but you can see that first 30 minutes we came up, it was a look above, and then this candle right here is a 5-minute. It closed right at that the new TPO, the new time period. So this was your 9 o'clock. Let's see, this was from 8:30 to 9, and then the 9 it closed. It came back up, and now that 450 was resistance. So it was a look above, fail, came down, and then now you're hovering between this mid-range ATR. And so where do you aim? You want to be shorting it because it's sort of proven itself that it's weak. This should have just tapped and then kept on going. But because we were coming down here, that's why I drew, at least on the Renko, this 450. So I drew this line before. It gives me a reference, at least when I'm looking at that chart, that's going to be my resistance. And then anything in between. Now see this 14,400. Why that was also important? Look over here. You see how this was the bull pivot for the multi-day? That was the 14,400. Oop, I may actually get in. Hold on a second. I did not see this, and I was getting an alert. This is going to flush. This was part of my plan. And then I'll get back to the video. I was anticipating the 12:30. I guess we can go ahead and get into that. 12:30 drop before, because remember, look at this candle. This is the 4-hour candle, the overlay, and you see how we shot up and then came all the way down and it closed, this 30-minute candle. So then you had an hour of this consolidation. We popped back up, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, we're gonna keep going." No, you use this as resistance. So that's what you end up doing. You use this as resistance, and we've been chopping around in between the intraday and then that multi-day. And so this was gonna be up, and then this is your halfback, and then I was anticipating until 12:30. This candle ends, and I was hoping for it to come down to the 266 area, which would be the previous week's close. And guess what? Look what it would end up doing too. It would be creating a lower high. So we have a lower high, lower high. So I'm hoping this comes all the way down, and then this candle ends at 12:30, and then when we open, then possibly we are going to go all the way back up to the 14,400 area. And then what I'm anticipating is, you see this consolidation pattern. This is Monday, and then this is Tuesday, and then we have FOMC on Wednesday. So FOMC might have the continuation catalyst of the down or the either upside. So we're in consolidation pattern right now. I mean, wasn't the best area to get in. Let's see. I'm hoping that if I end up getting stopped out, I get stopped out, and then I'll wait. Yep, I got stopped out. That was quite a bit of points I got hit because I was chasing. A lot of times you'll get some kind of pullback, and now watch it actually turn in reverse. But yeah, this is you can see that now. I mean, intraday, this is your consolidation. This was your break. Retest the break. So now we're probably going to come up to the 346 area and then flush down, because right now it's 11:50. We still have like 45 minutes left in the morning period, or until the afternoon, the 12:30 candle opens up. So anything can happen. But if this ends up breaking that 310 area, it's gonna flush. But see, this right here, what I wanted to show you was this was a push down, and we consolidated a lot. So actually, I'm gonna go ahead and get back in right here. That it's worth the risk. And if it goes back up, okay, I'm gonna give myself a little bit more. I gotta let this play out, because this right here is 1330 to 1370 area. That's 60 points. That's worth risking 10 or 20 points. But you see how we had a look below and fail. So that's what this was. It was the beginning of a new hour. That's what this line, the 9:30. So we consolidated quite a bit for 15 minutes. It broke down, and then when the mere fact that it came back up above the bull pivot, that was pretty bullish. And that's when you had this consolidation above, and it never once broke below. It pushed up, came back down, and then pushed all the way up, all the way back to that 14,400 area, and then came back down, and then came back up. So you're consolidating in between. But this right here, you never really want to mess around with a look below and fail. When this came back below, it should have stayed. And then even over here, I mean, this is not necessarily look below and fail. This is that 10-point. You got to give it 10-point range from the pivot, because you never know. It may overshoot a little bit and then come down. But this right here, this was a look below, because the candle actually closed. You see how it closed, and then it shot back up, and then that is when you could have gone long. Then you go short again. Your best risk reward is at that pivot, and then sure enough, it came down again. So right now, I probably got stopped out again. Yep, there I go. And that was another hurt. I'm not paying attention because I'm recording this video. So I'm gonna wait until possibly it comes back up here. It should come back up here, and then I wouldn't be surprised if we just start failing again. I mean, this is the best risk reward when looking for this pattern. If this ends up breaking back above like VWAP right now, then this will definitely squeeze back up to this whole area up here. But the trend is to the downside, so any pops you want to be selling into, you do not want to be chasing. So anyways, that is the morning play. There was plenty of opportunity. This was basically 100 points up, and then 100 points down, and 50 points up, 50 points down, 50 points up, 50 points down. There's plenty. You just have to know when to get in and when to stay away from all the kind of chop. So All right, well, this was the plan for the rest of the day. You can see I'll see you tomorrow. So I'm looking either for it to come back down here, or it's going to hold this 320 area, and then it's in the next afternoon session is going to like keep us up here. But I have a feeling we're going to be penned in this 14,450 area, this whole range. This is the end of the day, that line. And so you see how we're trending. So I'm assuming we're going to be in here for Monday, Tuesday, and then once again you have another consolidation pattern just like this day. So then it's going to make its decision possibly Wednesday, and then we either have more downside or we end up breaking above that 450 area and we either squeeze back up into this area. So all right, good luck, and we will see you tomorrow.